Morning, it's the 5th of November 2024. It's bonfire night, believe it or not. This is the night when all the recycling yards and reclamation yards set fire to all the tyres and make free plenty of space to paint yard. And as a bonus, we get to breathe in the fumes. Acid!
Oh, this is the greatest day
Day
of
of
my
my
life!
life. American elections are starting today, though. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it to the recently departed Janie Godley to say my piece. That's my thoughts on it. I'm with Janie. Talking about cunts, we're going to talk about Sir James Dyson today. When I get my torch. Yeah, James Dyson, Sir James Dyson. Famous for his shite hoovers, I think. What's happened with the inheritance tax? James has fucking chucked his dummy out of pram. He ain't happy. And what he does, James, he owns land and property worth 554,315,000 quid. And when he dies, he might have to, well, he'll have to pay because he'll be dead, but under this new ruling, he'll have to pay 20% of that in inheritance tax. And that is £111 million, believe it or not. But he don't want to pay it. He's not happy. And as a side to that, his net worth is £23 billion. It's not fucking bad, is it? Actually lives in Singapore. What he did, he fucked off. He fought to get Brexit through. He was a Brexiteer. Then when he got it through, he fucked off to Singapore or wherever, took his company with him, so he didn't have to pay any tax. Now he's complaining a little bit, and now he's complaining about a little bit of tax. They might have to pay on his fucking farmland, what he bought to avoid tax, a bit like Jeremy Clarkson. So yeah, 23 billion, and he's upset he might have to pay a bit of tax. Greed has no limit. And I'll tell you something else and all. If Dyson's a farmer, I make vacuum cleaners for a living. Moving swiftly on to reform, my favourite subject. Dick Tice, Richard Tice, better known as Dick, a multimillionaire. Yesterday, he was standing up for farmers in the Houses of Parliament, and here's his clip of him.
The Secretary of State and the Chancellor aware that so serious are the consequences of this policy that the heads of farming families in their 80s and 90s are seriously considering committing suicide before this policy comes into place.
I don't need any after comments, Minister.
I find it hard to respond to a question like that. I spoke earlier about using language carefully, and I would just reiterate that point.
Mr. Speaker, farmers, members of farming families in their 80s and 90s are seriously considering committing suicide due to this fucking policy. Get fucked, Richie, silly fucker. Anyway, the minister fucked him off. What a fucking numpty. Then, next up, Willie Anderson, 30 pence Lee. He also asked a question about inheritance tax. This is the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now then, Sam Wilson is a farmer in Ashfield. He's not a rich man. In fact, he's not drawn a wage in the past 4 years. So I want the Minister, Mr. Speaker, to look me in the eyes and tell me how many farmers he's spoken to over the past few months that actually agree with this harebrained scheme.
Minister.
Well, the last farmer I spoke to over the weekend congratulated me on what we were doing.
Now then, Mr. Speaker, Sammy Wilson is a farmer in Ashfield. He's not a rich man. He's not drawn a wage for 4 years. I wonder why that is, Lee. What happened 4 years ago? 2020. Did we come out of Europe? Did he lose his EU subsidies in 2020 and he's not drawn a wage since? Did he actually vote for it? Do you know what? What's he doing farming if he's not making any money? Why are these fucking farms with all this money if nobody's making out? It don't make fucking sense. Meanwhile, Nigel Farage, the MP for Clacton, is currently in America, and he's up Trump's ass as far as you can get. That's if you can find him. And I've got a clip of Nigel pre-Brexit and after Brexit. This is what I was saying about farmers before and after. He's also very much against inheritance.
There's no question that agriculture would find it very tough. No question at all. But remember,
very tough means people losing their jobs.
Very tough, or people find new markets. You know, things move. This is dynamic because also we'll have access to other markets around the world. In the short term, there will be winners and losers. They're always.
There are lots of different issues here. There's cheap imports that worry them. There's late payments from the British government for the new agricultural scheme. There's a feeling that the countryside isn't really being supported. But I think there's a whole mass of reasons. And what I'd like to know is, are there just one or two clearly defined issues? It's important to remember that leaving the common agricultural policy means we can't blame the European Commission anymore.
There he were, flip-flopping away like he does. And next up, Rupert Law. He's been punished 2 pennies. Rupert is a farmer and a landowner. Allegedly, he has a farm, but he don't farm it. What he did, he converted land into some facility for racehorses, and he's another multimillionaire. Who's moaning about he might have to pay a bit of tax. But you know what? It's nice to see that Reform are sticking up for the millionaire farmers. And only 2 weeks ago, these lads, these 4 MPs, Tice, Anderson, Farage, Law, and McMurdoch, the other fucker, they all voted against improvements in workers' rights. What about that? Think about that then. They're sticking up for millionaire farmers, but they're not bothered about the fucking workers. And nothing says we're on the side of ordinary people like sticking up for millionaires who don't want to pay the tax. I'm going to get my little tiny violin out for fucking farmers, because it must be horrible, eh? I mean, struggling along on all them millions. Can't get my fucking suction.
Wakey, wakey.